Alrighty guys, just rolled into the next project, got the new Hyundai in tow, and I got a feeling we're gonna get that machine a little muddy today, so stay tuned for that. But first off, does anybody recognize this job? There was several videos that have come out of here. All right, got her unchained. Let's hop in this thing, get her fired up, get her down off the trailer here. Used to grab him for the handle down here. It's not down there on this one. Man, absolutely love the cab on this thing. I cannot explain like how much room there is. Everything's just laid out real nice, just where it's supposed to be. There's definitely some thought that went into this, that's for sure. Beautiful display. All right, enough admiring. Let's get unloaded. We are unloaded and rolling. There's the giddy up button. So, if you guys have guessed, this is the close to 40-acre land clearing job we did. These are the first couple videos on my channel that really kind of took off. This used to be all woods of some sort. It was thicker in some spots than it was others. There's several, probably 5 to 7 videos on the channel of clearing this land. There's actually a video later of the first harvest, whenever Farmer Chris come back and did the first harvest. So you guys that have been with me for a long time probably realized there was 2 ponds on this property. There's one pond here, it's already drained. There's another pond down over the hill here. So basically what the plan is now that Chris has been farming this for 2 years, getting ready to farm it in the 3rd year. Got a power line up here I gotta watch. Hold on. Oh yeah, we missed it. He's willing to put a little bit more money into it, and he's gonna drain these ponds and get more farm area because they don't have cattle or livestock or anything here anymore. They don't need the water. And this one down here is leaking and making a really big mess down below the dam. This one up here, this pond here, we drained it when we were here before. So basically what we want to do is we want to get these drained and dried up as much as possible, and then we'll get Jerry up here with the 850 dozer, and he'll push the hole shut, and hopefully eventually one day it'll all be farm field. Chris will have that much more land to farm, but I think Chris has been pretty happy with the way this has turned out. The first year of farm though was a little bit rough, which was to be expected. Last year, I think it really smoothed out. He got some pretty good yields off of it. He's went corn back to back, so he didn't have to run the bean header on the ground in case there was a stick or something out there, but I think it's going in beans this year. So, but yeah. you guys go back and watch those old videos, it's crazy how different this place looks. But let's track down here, get set up and get a plan. All right, guys, we got tracked back here to the pond in question. So here's here's kind of the plan. Like I talked about before, that used to be all trees. We got it all cleared off. Chris has been farming it. The ground's been producing, so he's willing to put a little bit more money into this property. And this pond just kind of sticks out here a little bit, just enough it's a nuisance, and it's just kind of a wet hole. So the plan is we're going to drain this thing and then close it up, and that way he can kind of gain this little area here and clean up the property a little bit more. My guess is at one point they used to have livestock in here, and this pond was probably built for watering purposes, to water the livestock. Obviously the livestock's gone, so at this point the pond's obsolete. So first things first, we got to get the machine back in here. We got a brand new machine with all new shiny paint, so we can't be scratching it on the tree limbs coming in here. So the plan is we'll get the machine worked in here without any issues. Probably going to take out that tree there, get down over the hill, and we'll kind of work our way back up and bust the dam and let the water fly. Hope that's as fun to do as what it is to say. So all right, let's get wheeled in here. All right, guys, I don't currently have a thumb on this machine, so we're just gonna have to kind of do the push and knock out of the way. Man, this thing's got some swing power. You guys see that? Do the old-fashioned hook the tooth and pull the tree out. At some point, we'll have the probably one of the bigger machines up here, and I don't know if we'll bring the 850 in here or we'll bring the D4 in here. We'll bring one or the other in here. But the main goal for today is to get the water out of the pond so it can start draining a little bit, and to get it draining, we can get it dried up. Look at that. I don't know what it is about the controls on this thing, but the few times I've used it, I've been really impressed with how responsive and smooth it is. I'm really anxious to get over there and actually dig in the dirt a little bit. It seems like everything I've done with it has been grading up to this point. Captain Cleveland's got to play with it a little bit, but I haven't. So let me get myself a path cleared back in there, and then we'll start digging. Who needs a thumb? Look at that. That's one thing nice about these machines. They got those guards welded on the stick right there. So you can just squeeze it with a bucket, grab it, and pull it on through. Gotcha. That actually worked out pretty nice. Slide that over there out of the way. Go back in for more. Got myself a little path here. Got a little bit of working room, a little bit of elbow room. But look at this over here. This is a pretty good sign. This was most likely an old watering hole for the for the livestock. Got some sort of old watering tank or old water well there. I'd say those pipes at some point went up into the pond there, and they had a watering trough back here. That way they could water the animals without actually giving them access to the lake there or the pond. And they can be kind of rough on it. They'll trample the sides down. But anyway, so here's what the plan is. I'm going to start off. We got this natural ditch going down through here, so I'm going to start off right here, kind of start digging myself a notch in. Then once we get up to the top there, we'll kind of start biting down and letting the water go loose. So let's start digging. So a couple things I want to do here whenever I start digging this. I want to keep this dirt somewhere where it's easy to grab later, that I can get access to it. We're ultimately going to need it to fill the pond back in. The other thing I want to do is I want to make sure I leave enough room here beside the ditch where I can walk the machine back down here later if I need to adjust the height somewhere in the ditch. So that's why I cleared these trees out behind me. I'm going to kind of dig this thing in a big U shape, kind of like we're doing here now. That way it's plenty wide. You don't have to worry about it collapsing or anything like that. But man, this is the first couple passes of dirt with the new machine, and look at her, just digs like butter. This is a 24-inch general purpose bucket on here. This machine can obviously handle something a little bit larger. But it's all we got available to us right now on this job. And as you guys can see, she's working just fine, folks, working just fine. So I'll dig as far as I can here, and we'll kind of work our way up and down a little bit, and I'll level myself back up and we'll keep going. Check that out, guys. I'm not for sure why, but we got us a pretty good little leaker here. Feels like a root hole or something that's seeping all in through there. But that's a good one. It's gonna be a lot bigger by the time I get done with her. All right, back to digging. Well guys, we are getting close. We are getting really close to letting the water out of this girl, but as I was sitting here digging, I noticed something. Let me jump down the hole here real quick and I'll show you guys what I see before we flood this trench. All right guys, down here on the bottom side, if you look over here, you can see where that water is coming out of the bank. See how the dirt changes colors right there? If I had to guess, that is the original grade right there where it's leaking, and this here was all added as part of the dam. It does look like they stripped the topsoil off of it, but for some reason it just didn't quite bond right with that other dirt. But we pretty much got her opened up down through here. The water level, I don't know if you guys can see, the water level is right there. So I think it's time to let her fly. What do you think? All right guys, here we go. You ready to let the water fly? Let's do it. There she is draining out, guys. It's probably got about, I don't know, 6-8 inches of water drafting there. I don't want to dig that down too deep and let it just all gush out of here at once. I want to let it naturally, nicely drain at a controlled pace. That way it don't overwhelm a culvert or something. I did walk down there in the woods. It's got a long ways to go before it gets down through there, so it should kind of dissipate, but I don't want to overwhelm something downstream a little bit. There's no need for that. 15 minutes of patience here will go a long ways, but I'm not gonna lie, that rushing water kind of makes the guy gotta pee. All right, she's drained down pretty good. Let's take a little bit more out of her here and drop her another foot or so. Something in there. All right, here she goes. Oh, she's a flowing now. Look at her. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but can you guys see the water bouncing off all the rocks going down the hill there? Looks pretty cool. These are definitely a flowing. Well, she's draining down pretty good, guys, but I'm kind of out of reach from sitting where I'm at now, so maybe a little bit of a risky maneuver, but I got the machine turned around to where the blade is facing that way now. I'm trying to put the blade down and kind of keep that mud pushed out in front of me. Hopefully get over the hill there far enough without sliding in the pond, and take that last little bit out. Maybe I should call and see if the rental insurance is paid up before I go do that. It looks a little wet. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, I promise. Well, we're down in here. I guess the question is now, can we get back out? But before we go and get back out, we're gonna get the trench dug here. Now we're into the good old pond mud. Yummy! Not as slimy as some of it I've seen. She's draining pretty good, actually. As suspected, it's not very deep, so that makes it a little bit easier. Well, guys and girls, I think that's going to get it. I think she's going to drain out pretty good. So what the process will be here is we'll get this drained out, and that mud is just saturated. It'll continue to drain over the next couple days, maybe even a week or so. And eventually we'll get up here with the dozer and kind of start crowding in the sides, and what little bit of water is left out there we can get pushed out the trench. And eventually we'll have to find what mud is not dry. We'll have to find a way to cap it. But hopefully with that trench being lower than the bottom of the old pond, which is the mud, a lot of that water will drain out of there and a lot of it will dry up, and we'll have a whole lot of trouble covering it up later. But that's going to be a whole nother video. As far as this one's concerned, we got one thing left to do, is to get that thing out of the pond. Well, there she is. Pond is drained. Machine is out safely. We'll call that a success on this one. First impressions digging with the new A-Series excavator. Overall, guys, I'm extremely impressed. It's very well balanced. Got good reach, good visibility. The cab's just freaking awesome. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with this cab. It's the way it's laid out, getting in and out of it, the display, the way everything's placed. Super impressed with that. But we got a lot more work lined up with this thing in front of us. Should see it on a lot of different jobs, a lot of different situations. And I'm sure as time goes on, I'll have some more thoughts about it. But right now, first impressions, I'm really impressed. I think the next job we're gonna do with it is maybe dig about 1,000 foot of water line. So kind of curious to see how it does in that. But as always, guys, we'll test it to the limit. You know we will. But that's gonna be a wrap on this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.